Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) 2050 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. As we all know that we are commemorating various events based on commemorations from United Nations and its member organizations, as well as World Health Organization and various national, international, regional, state, and local commemorations which are significant importance and are contributing to the sustainable development. So today is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, 29th November. In 1997, the General Assembly called for the annual observance of 29th November as the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people through Resolution 32 by 40B. On that day, in 1947, the Assembly adopted the resolution on the partition of Palestine, Wide Resolution 181 of 2. In Resolution 60 by 37 of 1st December 2005, the Assembly requested the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People and the Division for Palestinian Rights as part of the observance of annual exhibit of the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People on 29th November to continue and also to organize an annual exhibit on Palestinian rights or a cultural event in cooperation with Permanent Observer Mission of Palestine to the UN. The resolution to the observance to the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people also encourages member states to continue to give the widest support and publicity to the observance of the Day of Solidarity. On this day, let's look at the origins and the evolution of the Palestine problem. The question of the Palestine was brought before the United Nations shortly after the end of Second World War. The origins of the Palestine problem as an international issue, however, lie in the events occurring towards the end of First World War. In 1947, the United Nations accepted the responsibility of finding a just solution for the Palestine issue and still grapples with this task today. Various United Nations systems are working towards achieving this, like United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees, in short known as UNRWA, and UNOCHA, Occupied Palestine Territory, UNDP in Program of Assistance to the Palestinian People, Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, and United Nations Country Team in Palestine. These are the various organizations and initiatives. Those are working on Palestine problem. So they provide assistance and protection for registered Palestine refugees. And UNRWA, as already mentioned, Human Development and Humanitarian Services encompass primary and vocational education, primary health care, relief and social services, infrastructure and camp improvement, microfinance, and emergency response, including in situations of armed conflict. Millions of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and the West Bank struggle to live with dignity under Israeli occupation, facing movement restrictions, Palestine political divisions, and recurrent escalations of the hostilities. The kind of crisis and the context and the impact based on the humanitarian response plan of 2021, a protracted protection crisis facing women, men, boys, and girls continues in the occupied Palestinian territory, in short known as OPT, leaving many Palestinians struggling to live a life with dignity. It is driven by Israel's military occupation, including the blockade of the Gaza Strip, insufficient respect for international law, continuing international Palestinian political divisions, and recurrent escalations of hostilities between Israel and Palestinian armed groups. In the Gaza Strip, 2 million Palestinians have been living under the intensified access restrictions since 2007 and are largely isolated from the external world. Long-standing impact restrictions imposed by Israel, citing security concerns as well as lack of agreement and coordination between the Palestinian Authority and Israel, impede the implementation of infrastructure projects, economic recovery, and employment generation. Continuing insecurity discourages farming activity in land located up to 1,000 meters from Israel's perimeter fence, when fishing livelihoods are disrupted by Israeli restrictions on access to the sea of the Gaza coast. Prolonged electricity blackouts negatively affect the delivery of essential services and increase the domestic burden on women and girls, while unresolved divisions between Hamas and the Fatah-led PA undermine the payment of salaries to civil servants and the local authorities' ability to meet the needs of the Gaza population in general. Combined, these factors have increased unemployment, which reached an historical high of over 49% in the second quarter of 2020 in the context of COVID-19, while further reducing the already labor force participation rate. West Bank, Palestinian households and communities in Area C, East Jerusalem, and the H2 area of Hebron City face a coercive environment due to a range of long-standing Israeli policies and practices. The restrictive and discriminative planning regime applied in Area C and East Jerusalem prevents Palestinians from addressing basic housing, livelihood, and service needs. The Israeli authorities regularly demolish, seize, or force Palestinians to demolish homes and other structures for lack of building permits, which are often impossible to obtain. Further, components of the coercive environment of continuing concerns are attacks and intimidation by Israeli settlers, along with the Israeli authorities' lack of adequate law enforcement and movement restrictions. Many of the above restrictions are aimed at protecting and providing space for the growth of Israeli settlements and their gradual annexation to Israel, some de jure, as in East Jerusalem, and others de facto, as in the Area C, is contravention to the international law. All this information is provided by the United Nations and may be biased or can be biased information, because this is a day where we are commemorating, you know, a support towards Palestinian people. So there may be, this information might be biased towards Palestinian people, but overall we should try to understand both the parties are equally responsible for settling this long-standing issue. We are not supporting any one party, or we are not against any other party, but we are trying to understand what the problem is, and what is the context through which this problem still exists today. And the Office of the United Nations Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace and Process, in short UNSCO, the office, as already mentioned, represents the Secretary General and leads the UN system in all political and diplomatic efforts related to the peace process, including in the Middle East Quarter. UNSCO also coordinates the humanitarian and development work of UN agencies, programs in the occupied Palestinian territory in support to Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian people. So UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is deeply committed to peace in the Middle East. The UN works for the creation of an independent state of Palestine living side by side in peace with the state of Israel and just lasting and comprehensive resolution to the Arab-Israel conflict in accordance to the relevant UN resolutions and international law. The first United Nations Special Coordinator was appointed, and the Office of UNSCO established in June 1994 following the signing of the Oslo Accord. The aim was to enhance the involvement of United Nations during the transition process and to strengthen UN interagency cooperation to respond to the needs of the Palestinian people, mobilizing financial, technical, economic, and other assistance. In 1999, UNESCO's mandate was enhanced. It became the Office of the Special Coordinator for the Middle East peace process, as well as the personal representative of the Secretary General to the PLO and Palestinian Authority. The Special Coordinator was charged with boosting United Nations development assistance in the support of peace process. Additionally, the special coordinator represented the Secretary General in discussions relating to the peace process with the parties and international community. Since 2002, the special coordinator has been the Secretary General's envoy in the Middle East Quartet, comprising the Secretary General of the United Nations, the United States of America, the European Union, and the Russian Federation. The quartet launched the roadmap in 2003. The integrated of UN work was further strengthened in 2006 when a deputy special coordinator, humanitarian, and resident coordinator was appointed to lead the United Nations country team consisting of 21 UN organizations providing humanitarian and development assistance to the Palestinians. UNSCO is a field office under the auspices of the Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs and works in close consultation with its relevant counterparts, structured to respond in a rapid, effective, and coordinated manner to requests by the parties. The office is mandated to assist in all issues related to the humanitarian situation and development challenges facing the Palestinian people. In addition, the office supports negotiations and the implementation of political agreements. UNSCO provides a well-organized, recognized focal point within the United Nations system via the parties to the peace process, regional and international actors, and international and multilateral institutions. UNSCO has offices in Jerusalem, Ramallah, and Gaza, and a roving regional presence, and is divided into 3 units: the Regional Affairs Unit, the Coordination Unit, the Media Unit. So the Mission Support Unit, the support components of UNSCO comprises administration, budget, finance, human resources, general services, logistics, communications and information technology, transport, and security. The United Nations country team in Palestine, in short known as the UNCT in Palestine, under the leadership of Resident Coordinator RC, in short, comprises all the heads of UN agencies, as already mentioned, in the occupied Palestinian territory, in short known as OPT. The UNCT ensures interagency coordination and decision making at the country level on issues ranging from development assistance to issues pertaining to common or shared facilities and services. The main purpose of the UNCT is for individual agencies to plan and work together for the delivery of tangible results that enhance the development prospects for the people of Palestine. The UNCT works closely with the government of Palestine and other development partners to ensure that its work is aligned with the Palestinian Authority national policy agenda. The overall framework under which the UNCT delivers is the United Nations Development Assistance Framework, UNDAF, which represents the key shared development objectives of the UN system and in the country. In this context, the UNCT works to ensure that implementation of the UNDAF is harmonized and is responsive to the national priorities and targets. The country team in Palestine consists of 22 agencies, funds, and programs, including Food and Agriculture Organization, in short known as FAO, International Labour Organization, in short known as ILO, International Trade Commission, in short known as ITC, Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, in short known as OHCHR, United Nations Children Fund, in short known as UNICEF, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, in short known as UNCTAD, United Nations Development Program, in short known as UNDP, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, in short known as UNESCO, United Nations Environment Program, in short known as UNEP, United Nations Settlements Program, in short known as UN Habitat, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, in short known as UNIDO, United Nations Mine Action Service, in short known as UNMAS, United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, in short known as UNOCHA, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, in short known as UNODC, United Nations Office for Project Services, in short known as UNOPS, United Nations Office of the Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, in short known as UNSCO, United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, United Nations Register of Damages, in short known as UNROD, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for the Palestinian refugees in the Near East, in short known as UNRWA, United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and Empowerment of Women, in short known as UN Women, World Food Program, in short known as WFP, and World Health Organization, in short known as WHO. So these are various, agencies or funds and programs which the UN United Nations country team in Palestine are working towards the development and the peace process. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration, and let's move on other commemorations of the day. Today is also Giving Tuesday, in context of US. Every year on Tuesday after Thanksgiving, people take time to kick off holiday season by giving back to their community, whether it is donating money or to a charitable cause or volunteer. Giving Tuesday is a day set to benefit the community. If you want to take part or by buying a gift for someone while giving back to charity in the process, then you can explore various ways. So Giving Tuesday was founded in 2012 by New York's 92nd Street Y in partnership with the United Nations Foundation. The holiday was first announced in September 2012, 2 months prior to first Giving Tuesday, occurring on November 27. The announcement was made by the technology website Mashable. The purpose of the day is to inspire people and companies to take action, just like Black Friday and Cyber Monday created a framework for retailers to sell merchandise. All this, we have seen many commemorations. Basically, all these are, a business models where, these days provide an opportunity of lot of business and commerce where they can sell, promote products. So shortly before and after November 27, 2012, Giving Tuesday was covered by the Washington Post and the White House official blog, ABC News and Huffington Post. Forbes also used occasion to publish a guide on effective giving. In 2013, Mashable partnered with Google Plus to hold out a Hangout-a-thon for Giving Tuesday. The holiday received coverage on many philanthropy information websites, including the Chronicle of Philanthropy and Charity Navigator. The Chronicle of Philanthropy article highlighted a donation by Good Ventures to give directly, Google's Hangout-a-thon, and matching grants announced by the Case Foundation. Charitable giving on Giving Tuesdays in 2013 was approximately twice the value of 2012, with over 7,000 participating nonprofits. So for 2018 holiday occurrence, Facebook and PayPal announced they would match up to $7 million in donations to the United States nonprofits for the first come first serve basis. So this match limit was hit only after after only an hour, with an announcement saying the match was achieved within seconds, and a total of $125 million was raised via Facebook on Giving Tuesday, the highest for a single day on the platform. So this is a day to give back. Giving Tuesday is created by technology companies like Mashable, Skype, and Cisco in 2012. And in 2014, real-time efforts, the Giving Tuesday movement launches Giving Tower, a fundraising app that allows people to see the world's charitable efforts grow in real time. In 2017, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation announced $2 million in matching for donations to fundraisers on Facebook, and ultimately raising $45 million, a dollar for a dollar campaign in 2017. 2018, a charitable record of $400 million is raised in total for Giving Tuesday, a new record for the holiday. So as per the data gathered by a top Philadelphia marketing agency, the National Today data science team surveyed 1,000 people about their Giving Tuesday habits. 56%, more than half of the Americans, feel they are more generous than their friends. And 25%, one quarter of American plans on participating in Giving Tuesday. And what are the various charitable causes are you planning to support? For this, women has responded to 22.99% for humanitarian services, 17.52% for women, and 14.23% on health, and 12.04% education. This was their inclination of charitable causes where they want to donate. And with respect to men, they were inclined towards 20.69% of them had an inclination towards human services, and 12.26% towards women, and 28.83% towards health, and 14.56% towards education. So for the question, do you consider yourself to be generous? 54.1% has chosen yes, more so than my friends, and 38.5% has chosen yes, but the same of less generous than my friends, and 7% of them chosen no. So 3 reasons to give on Giving Tuesday. These all are Western context models where, they have a day for each thing. So it provides personal satisfaction. The 3 reasons to give on Giving Tuesday: you are helping someone who needs it, and your contribution might inspire others to give too. And you can also participate in Giving Tuesday by finding an online fundraising site, or to contribute or donate, or your favorite charities or non-profits. Or you can visit any nearest non-profit, or you can just do this. Is a very winter season, cold climate around night. If you find someone who is sleeping outside, you can also distribute some bed sheets or rugs or anything like that. You can just explore. Basically, it's contributing back to the community. You can find innumerable ways to contribute back. And a few fundraising sites are also there where you can visit, or you can walk down to your local, human shelter or animal shelter and donate some food, beds, toys, or whatever they require. And with the abundance of causes to support, there are many options for people to donate in cash or kind to various charities. And you can also just mail a check or drop off some money or even click donate from the comfort of your desk. And we sometimes forget that one helpful way of giving back is by volunteering. Contact a local hospital, shelter, or non-profit ahead of time and see if you can help and how you can help. And donate clothes, shoes, that sweater you swore you would wear this fall, which never saw the light of the day, can be of use to someone in need. So go through your closet and donate any articles of clothing you are not going to wear again or ever. You can find someone in your community or locality or around which might be useful for them. And around 3.6 million total online gifts in 2018. Even if you are not donating to fundraisers or non-profits, you can still give to the people you know you love. This philosophy was proven in 2018 by a total of 3.6 million online gifts purchased, especially for Giving Tuesday, which occurs very close to Christmas and Chanukah. So, a lot of business for the business houses. And nothing spreads the word faster than social. So this is probably why Giving Tuesday has been such a successful charity holiday in 2017. This day had over 1 million mentions on social media from people using the hashtag Giving Tuesday. And pretty good for their very first year. Giving Tuesday raised a little of over $10 million on their first celebration of the day in 2012. This seems very little in comparison to the 400 million raised in 2018, but for the day that was only announced 2 months prior, $10 million is a huge achievement. An astonishing $2.47 billion was donated to the US nonprofits by a reported 34.8 million people on Giving Tuesday in 2020. And the estimated total of online and offline giving in the United States on Giving Tuesday 2019 was $1.97 billion. So it makes us feel good whether you admit it or not. The holiday season can get the best of us, especially when our main stressor is what gift to get that certain family member. So if you splurge on materialistic goods, giving back to a charitable cause takes some of the guilt away. And by volunteering at the local community center, or donating money or cash or kind to our favorite organization, we are able to help those in need. You can provide a warm meal at the local soup kitchen or even clean drinking water or by donating something. Or anyone can participate. You don't have to be rich or, you are in the Peace Corps or something like that to participate in Giving Tuesday. Every small act or amount counts. Yes, you can donate as small as $1 or cent. That can make a huge impact on any cause. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And today is also Electronic Greetings Day. We celebrate by sending e-cards to every person on our contact list that we haven't chatted also within a while. Can you imagine that only 5% of Americans were on social media in 2005? E-cards, also known as electronic cards, are digital greeting cards or postcards created using digital media. So these cards are usually sent via email or social media and don't require the recipient to print them out. E-cards can contain animation and text and are of various types, including video e-cards, e-card games, mobile e-cards, and flash animation. When we look at the history of these electronic greetings or electronic greetings day, while the telegraph invented in the late 19th century marked the beginning of innovation in communication technologies, it was when the internet arrived a century later that social media became possible. The first social media variant, the Plato system, was launched in 1960. The system entered into the market while the first iteration of the internet, the ARPANET, was still in the works. The Plato system offered a message forum application called Notes, an instant messaging feature known as Term Talk, an online chat room, Talkomatic, and more. In 1967, the ARPANET came online and evolved into internet in 1970s. That was followed by the introduction of personal computers, in short known as PCs, in 1980s. Both of these inventions set the stage for the development of social media in 1990s and beyond. In November 1994, one of the earliest social networking services, GeoCities, entered the market. Close behind it was Classmates, launched in 1995, and then 6 Degrees, the first online platform that allowed use of real names in 1997. 6 Degrees is considered the first social networking site as it allowed people to sign up with their email, create profiles, and add friends to their personal network. The 2000s saw the explosion of social media platforms, including LinkedIn, MySpace, and Friendster. Platforms like PhotoBucket and Flickr introduced online photo sharing, and YouTube revolutionized how videos are shared online. In 2006, Facebook and Twitter took the world by storm, becoming two most popular social media platforms in the world. Between 2009 and 2010s, the world saw the introduction of WhatsApp, Instagram, and Snapchat, allowing photo and video sharing. In 2020, at the height of the pandemic, TikTok became well known, quickly becoming popular among millennials and Gen Zs. So 20th century has marked the era of social media with the launch of social sites like Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And the first networking site, 6 Degrees launches, introduces features that allows you to create a real profile and connect with people over the internet in 1997. And in 1960, the first social networking variant, the University of Illinois, develops the Plato system, as already mentioned. So e-cards were invented in 1994 by Judith Donath, the founder of social media group at MIT. E-cards are now more popular than ever. The 2020 pandemic brought the need for people to look for new ways in connect in isolation and over long distances. And some of the best e-greeting card services include Green Envelope or Smilebox, Punch Bowl, Paperless Post, eWhite, and Postable, among many others. So if you have been looking for a reason to message old friends or new friends, or just planning to start some new friendships you haven't spoken to, or friends you haven't spoken to in past few years, here is one. Use platforms like eWhite, Postable, Canva, green envelope to design an e-card and post it on social media or email to the intended person or WhatsApp, whichever you like it. If you don't want to go through that, simply send a greeting GIF or emoji to them on Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, or Facebook. You have a number of ways to explore and play some games. Apps like Messenger, iMessage, Facebook, Snapchat offer games that you can play in a group. If e-cards are not your thing, then you can invite your friends for a social game night, including the old ones. And yeah, it is a festive season with lot of festivals from every religion, especially, the Christmas and, you know, the so-called waste New Year, which creates a lot of pollution and loss of, you know, quality resources. And the New Year is almost knocking at your doorsteps. The Drunkard's Day is synonym. Even though it's like a month away, it still doesn't stop you from starting the necessary preparations. And draw out a list of people who need to send a e-greeting card to this holiday. Choose wise not to celebrate this drunkard's day by drinking and drinking and driving and all those. Maybe you can use for sending a very good message rather than sending a greetings like wishing them on New Year boozing or something like that. You can send some good message through these e-cards and choose your design based on your preferred e-greeting card services and schedule them to send on suitable dates. And don't forget to include your old friends as well. And if we see this, some interesting facts, Twitter has about 3 billion accounts, but only an average of 320 million are active monthly. So more accounts than users on Twitter. And the most Instagrammed food, we also do keep sharing food images of, you know, pizza takes the title of the most Instagrammed food, followed by Shashi and steak in the West. And the all-knowing Google has answered over 450 billion unique queries since 2003. And about 81% of American women trust Pinterest for news and information. So Pinterest is quite news trusted and newsworthy. A staggering amount of watched videos on Snapchat. Users watch about 6 billion videos every day. And it is an opportunity to connect with old friends, and electronic day greetings day is a fun, create, share exciting moments with family and loved ones. And these are really fast, you know. You can expect your recipient to receive it instantly, unlike before the advent of internet or email or snail mail, when messages usually takes weeks or even months or years to deliver. We now has a faster and better means of communication. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And today is also Square Dancing Day. Though it's international, but in the context of US, to honor square dance form of folk dancing. This enjoyable, healthy, and simple kind of dancing with a lengthy history deserves its festival and has its roots in traditional English, Irish, and Scottish folk dance. To grasp the significance of Square Dance Day, you must first learn about the square dance, right? This is a form of dance in which 8 persons are involved in 4 different partners, which are divided into 4 different partners. Each pair is arranged in a square with one couple on each side of the square facing the center. The square dances form patterns of circles, lines, squares with couples taking turns in each role. Female, female, male, 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 female. This so-called caller, who is a dancer, is frequently seen on the stage with the band. Square dancing is most commonly linked with a romanticized vision of the Old West, with cowboys pursuing southern bellies at saloon dances to commemorate various occasions. The dance is accompanied by the upbeat music played on guitars, fiddles, accordions, and bagpipes. The dances usually take form of lines, circles, and as the name implies, squares, with couples, male, female, female, male, or male, male, taking turns in each role. The dances or the dancers in most American types of square dance are guided through square dance choreography to the rhythm of the music. Square dancing, which had phased throughout the world wars, enjoyed a comeback in New York City during the American folk music revival in 1950s. So, how many different types of square dances are there? Again, there are three main regional styles: Northeast or West England type, Southeast or Appalachian type, and the Western, and even many more depending on regional variations. And it is regarded as social dance in North America, particularly in the country's southern and western areas, and is very popular dance. And Colorado, Massachusetts, and over 20 additional states have also adopted as its official state dance. And square dancers frequently wear custom-made square dance clothes with numerous layers of crinolines, petticoats, and petty pants. Partners' clothing may be color and pattern coordinated. Women are more likely to wear soft soled slippers or shoes with a single strap and a low heel than males. So, on this square dance day, you might also want to spend some time learning about various types of square dances that are popular around the world. In England, for example, there are several types of square dancing. And it's not always all about squares. It's not always about squaring. In the Appalachian Mountains, it is common to run square dance steps in a big circle, dances with as many couples as you could fit into the floor. And along the way, clothes like jeans, slacks, and even yoga pants are increasingly acceptable attire for a square dance. So, no dress code, and it's everywhere. Square dances can be found almost anywhere from the historic Carcassonne dance in Kentucky to a bustling scene in Baltimore, Maryland. They span the entire country. And in recent years, there has been resurgence of the interest in teaching more people how to call square dances. And nowadays, square dances are danced to a variety of music styles, including disco, modern pop, and techno. And dancing is a wonderful way to bring people together, which is exactly what communities should be about. So don't forget that no squad dance is complete without some appropriate music for the occasion. In several English countries or traditional dances, square dances are also popular. You can study the many dances of continental Europe, Ireland, Canada, and of course, United States. And as the day celebrates, there will be some local competitions held for square dance in the West. By participating in the competition, in which the best square dances will receive a reward. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little bit of healthy competition? Just go on, keep rocking. And with this, we shall end the commemoration of this day. And we'll move on to throw out your leftovers day in context of United States. It is celebrated and today, that is on November 29th, and the goal of the day is to get all of us to throw away the leftovers that are rotting in the fridge. And frankly, too far gone for consumption. Stocking up is one thing, but hoarding food, especially leftovers, are not just bad for your fridge, but also detrimental to your health. So before it gets spoiled, give it away to someone who needs it, especially leftovers. And eating days old leftovers regularly can rob your body of important nutrients because when food is kept away for a long time, the nutritional levels go down and some food items may even become toxic. So do your gut a favor and throw out your leftovers. The best way is give it off before you know they are not consumable or not usable. So with our busy schedules, we can understand cooking fresh food every day can sometimes get rather hectic. But storing food in containers or wrapped up in plastic foils is pretty common these days. While it is all well and good, sometimes we simply forget that there is a food in the fridge. This results in food getting spoiled, going out to waste, and ultimately stinking up the fridge. So there's no real reason why throw it out or leftovers day originated except to remind us to clean our fridges. But instead of throwing it out, you know, take some time to donate. But how do we end up hoarding leftovers other than forgetfulness? It is often a poor personal habit, the more common of which are poor food shopping habits. Many of us struggle with estimating how much we should cook for our families and therefore end up overdoing it. And this is very common when we have guests over and don't know how much food will be consumed during a meal. To prevent embarrassment, we often overcompensate and cook way beyond what is consumed, which when we inevitably end up with too much food, the extras goes into the fridge, following us uh, and followed by us forgetting about them. Another thing we should be concerned about is how good the old food is for your health. In most cases, the taste isn't compromised much yet. You can feel the difference between freshly cooked food and your leftovers. However, some argue that the nutritional value of leftover food is far lower than freshly cooked food, and it is not best to consume them over long periods. Throughout your leftovers day is a perfect opportunity to not just clean your fridge, but also evaluate your bad habits. So before you throw away, it's always good to give away. So when we look at basically certain things where we keep our leftovers, refrigerator, Jacob Perkins builds the first refrigerator system, paving the way for modern refrigeration in 1834 in the West. Of course, in our ancient technologies, we have, these food pits made of mud and all. These are natural refrigerators. We have very good technology where without using anything, we can store our, food with the cold conditions. And aluminum foil, this is commonly, used to wrap up food. And industrialist Robert Victor Neher invents aluminum foil in 1910. And saran wrap, Ralph Wiley accidentally discovered saran wraps while having trouble washing his beakers in 1932. And finally, L. Tupper creates innovative plastic containers that are lightweight and non-breakable in 1946. I think everyone must be aware of this famous business model and business products, Tupperware. So what you can do with the leftover food, compose the food or have it in the very next day. Another method is freezing it to enjoy the later stage or adding them to a new dish of your own invention. But make sure it's still fresh and consumable. Leftovers can be kept for up to 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator, uh, depending on the duration it was left outside and the kind of ingredients it consists. Again, eat them within that time, the risk of food poisoning increases thereafter. And what about the leftovers after 4 or 5 days? According to the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, food code, all perishable foods that are opened or prepared should be thrown out after 7 days. So a big no. So before, keeping leftovers and throwing them away, get rid of old food that has been lying there before that and replace them with fresh vegetables and fruits. This is the best way to celebrate day. And also today is also giving Tuesday, otherwise, any day is a great day or a good day to donate or to give away. So you can give away to someone who needs it. And this is also a day that reminds you to clean your fridge. Take the day to also give your fridge a good do-over. Air it out, deep cleanse it, and more to remove all the stink from the leftovers. Be mindful of your habits. Learn how to shop and cook in the right amounts to prevent leftovers from piling up. This is a great way to reduce wastage. And also, do not consume anything before meal time. Often we end up just consuming just before or meal time, so that we the meals which are prepared for the meal time are often we consume less amount or less quantity of prepared food items. So again, there are more leftovers. And let's look at some facts this Tupperware has created a huge impact. The lid design was inspired by a paint can. The partial vacuum seal keeps food fresh. The Tupperware became popular with certain facts, especially by the lid can, the lid design, which is inspired by a paint can, where there is no uh, passage of air also, so that the food it still remains fresh. And Tupperware parties started after products failed to make sales in stores. And now only one Tupperware party is held in 14, today one Tupperware party is held every 14 seconds around the globe. And you can see how much business it is making. And of course, it's an expensive business. Tupperware makes almost $2 billion annually. And it's one of the mankind's greatest invention, Plastic and Tupperware was hailed as one of the greatest inventions of the 20th century. So be mindful, make yourself aware of the food that goes to waste in your home. It allows you to change your bad habits and teach ourselves and our kids good personal habits and reduces wastage. Food wastage is a serious issue that not concerns only us but every one of us. When you cook the right amount of food, you ensure that none is going to waste. This day aims to keep or make people realize the importance of food and why one must not waste it. We have seen many people are dying with hunger, and many people do not have. The prices are going up due to various reasons, and all these leftovers, and it will again tax on the various issues. So, with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And finally, today is also National Lemon Cream Pie Day. Again, in context of US. And if your sweet tooth is ready to celebrate National Lemon Cream Pie Day, commonly called as lemon meringue pie, is typically associated with pumpkin pie. And of course, we'll take any excuse to celebrate any kind of pie, especially a pie that has been around this long. And food historians believe lemon desserts have been around since the Middle Ages. Whipped cream, on the other hand, is a relatively newcomer, but it didn't show up until 16th century. It first appeared in the recipes in Italy in the mid 1500s and then traveled to France and then showed up in recipes there just after 1600. Somewhere between then and now, someone had the brilliant idea to marry them together in a way that's basically sunshine baked into a pie dish. While lemon custards, puddings, and pies have been made since medieval times, meringue was perfected in 17th century. Lemon meringue pie is as it is known today in a 19th century product. The earliest recorded recipe was attributed to Alexander Freshy, a Swiss baker from Normandy. Travel writer Larissa Milne credits chef entrepreneur Elizabeth Goodfellow for this pie. According to noted food historian William Boyce Weaver, Goodfellow was one of the most creative forces in American cookery during the early 19th century. Her shop was unique, unlike many bakeries that supplied bread and daily baked goods. Goodfellow's pastry shop provided elegant cakes, pies, and sweets for Philadelphia's high society parties. While known for many treats, including jumbles, an early version of sugar cookies, and queen's cakes, and individual spiced cakes flavored with brandy and Malderia, and her most lasting legacy is the advent of lemon meringue pie. Food historian Becky Diamond refers to the Goodfellow as a mother of lemon meringue pie. Lemon pudding was considered one of the Goodfellow's signature creations. She is credited with several varieties, whether served alone or in a pastry crust. As a pie, lemons were a delicacy in early 1800s, but readily available in a busy port such as Philadelphia. So, how do you store? Where do you store? Keep it in refrigerator. Lemon meringue pie should always be chilled before serving. Make sure the pie is on top shelf to prevent other items in the refrigerator from spilling or dripping of the pie. And why this lemon meringue pie crust soggy? Try placing the pie in bottom half of the oven so that the pie crust is closer to the direct heat of the oven. Also use a glass plate to bake faster. So cream pies of all kinds are a classic dinner dessert. But of course, it's also, a good cocktail to match. And it's try a lemon drop and give it a good shake, strain into a glass and garnish with fresh lemon slices. It's elegant and deceptively easy. It's classic. And it's healthy too, because the main flavor profile is lemon, right? Green, citrus fruit. Lemons are excellent source of vitamin C, good for your body and naturally antibacterial. They can also help you absorb iron, stimulate your liver, and might even, you know, have cancer fighting properties. So sure, you could get these benefits by drinking lemon water, but pie is just more fun. And high-end restaurants can fancy up, but lemon cream pies are about as simple as they come. If you're craving one but feeling especially lazy, it's as simple as a trip to grocery store to pick up a pre-made pie crust, fresh lemons, lemon pudding mix, and can of a whipped cream. Presto, no bake, almost no effort. Lemon cream pie is ready to consume. So, of course, there are many other commemorations. With the time constraints, we shall conclude here. Hope everyone enjoyed and have a sip of lemon water or lemon pie. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and see you all tomorrow at the same time. Before leaving, quickly fill up the feedback form. Is mandatory for the issue of certificates. And I have been receiving queries regarding certificates, but it's almost, from even earlier also. But this series started from March. But still now, many people are there who do not understand the system. I don't know why. What is the difficulty in understanding? Many times we have demonstrated also that we do not send any certificate to your email. And many people keep commenting, I have not received my certificate, I have not received my certificate. But let me tell you, I have told you many times earlier also, you will not receive any certificate in your emails. You have to visit website and download. If you are eligible and the eligibility criteria is clear and set, first thing is you have to register. And the second thing, you have to attend. And the third thing, you have to fill the feedback. And fourth thing is wait for the stipulated time. At times it can get delayed. And I have also mentioned why these delays are not from our end. It's only because at your end, including all speakers, participants, and other things. If there is some delay, we cannot prepare as and when you get time, you fill it and just keep counting seconds. It will not work on that way. We expect everything to be completed by the end of the day so that we can start processing the next day. But if there is any delay from any of the stakeholders, then again, every day is a new day and every day there is an event. So it takes a lot of time again going back and pulling out extra time for that day again is a very painful thing, because we have to manage all the things. At the same time, taking out some extra time is again, a very time consuming task. So don't keep anything for the next day. If there is delay again from your side, from our side also, it will take some more time, obviously. So that is the reason. If there is anything like delays, so it is on our both of our parts. Most of the time we have many times issued on the same day or the next days. But if there is some delay, some issue, it will get delayed until the lacunae or the things are sorted out. So don't delay. Don't think that anyway I will get certificate. Because of that, not only you, others will also get delayed. So fill it up quickly and do daily keep attending. And you can have this wonderful sessions daily, enjoying it. So feedback form has been raised. Quickly fill up the feedback form and see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.